this fight really pointed the direction of the club.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it didn't matter who won because the guy who won still let him in.
Right.
So that was
Yeah.
kind of the interesting part. Was even when
Yeah.
when he afterwards, when he goes, why'd you let him in? You know, if you were going to let him in, why'd you do it anyway?
When you guys are prepping for this, did you have these conversations? Like what is the intent, and or you kind of just knew this is the direction it was going to go, or did you not know?
I think like the biggest thing that Jeff talked about, like we actually didn't talk about the context too very much. He was like, just make it brutal, make it messy and brutal. And Tom is so strong that you know, sometimes I was really worried he was going to snap my neck. So I was like, it's pretty brutal.
Well, he's a pretty serious jujitsu guy now too. So
Yeah,
he
I
is.
mean, he's definitely got a grip on him. I've seen some of the videos. I wouldn't fuck with him.
You know, Charlie.
No way, dude.
Yeah. Charlie, he was just over here in the city training over at Henzo's, and he was training with my buddy Charlie, who's a BJJ black belt over there, and he said that he was a beast.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So what was the prep for this fight like? I mean, rehearsal time and mapping it out and the whole experience for you.
Did you prep in the mud?
No, we originally prepped. I was really fortunate. There's a guy that I always ask to double me, and sometimes they'll say no, and sometimes they'll say yes. Most of the time they say yes, and this time they did. And
what's his name? Give him a shout.
Chad Knorr.
Oh, yeah, we know Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah, he's great. We've been working together since 2015 or 16, I think. He first doubled me in a movie with Robert De Niro, and
the comedian.
And he does such a yes, exactly.
There you go.
And he does such a great job, and over time, he like, you know, he has my mannerisms down and everything, and he also like knows what I don't want to do, so he just jumps in before I have to say I don't want to do that because I have a bad back and everything, and I just really appreciate that relationship. So I was really psyched to see him there. And I mostly just watched them do it because Tom wasn't there, you know, and it was the same day I landed in Cincinnati. So, you know, they had staged it and it looked cool. We were on a mat, you know, but then like a week later when we shot it, kind of the whole thing just totally changed because, you know, Tom gets really excited and wants to add things and take away things. And
that's every fight scene.
Yeah. And I realized how strong he was when we had to do the part where we were on the ground and he chokes me.
Yeah.
And before we said action, it was a tight grip, but I wasn't. And all of a sudden they said action. I was like, I can't fucking breathe, you know. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to bring it a little bit, you know.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta pretend this is like 20% real.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So, how much? So, what was it like from rehearsals, and what changed when you got on set? Because we talk a lot about how not to be married to the choreography, because a lot of times you get on location, you get in set, and all these ideas start flowing, and things and stuff changes. You know.
Yeah, you know, that's actually a really interesting point because now that I'm reflecting back, because I've had so many fight scenes, and it almost never is the same as what we initially stage. Right, like, and then you know the stunt team does it, and then you put the actors in, and they all have different ideas, and so yeah, like it was quite different, if I remember correctly.
Was there anything like once you got, because they obviously had some idea of what it was going to be before you arrived, like you said, they were already working on it. And when you get there, are you contributing aspects that you think, well, Big Jack would maybe do this, not that, or Big Jack would respond this way, not that way?
For sure. I didn't, there wasn't a lot of not that. I tend to really have a lot of respect for stunt workers, and I like don't want to get in the way, you know?
Sure.
But I did want to add a lot of, he's just so big. Like, I just wanted to add a lot of like just right crosses, you know? Because whenever you see a large man fight, he uses his fists. He doesn't, you know, really try to, because he doesn't really have any, but he doesn't try to use his agility and fighting skills. He just wants to pummel the guy.
Well, you didn't want to do a jumping, spinning 360 hook kick. No, the fight was so gritty and brutal and real. That was what I think
Yeah.
was great about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't fancy. It was real, like two real guys fighting.
Well, I mean, and especially when you're rolling around in the mud, that's pretty much what it's going to end up looking like.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
totally.
Just
And
sloppy.
that was supposed to be sloppy, you know.
Yeah, sloppy, no technique. You're not going to be able to really throw good punches with slippery, muddy footing, and you know what I mean. It's just coming out with all your weight behind it and hoping you land it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, and it's interesting you mentioned slippery mud, because a couple times we actually caught each other on the chin and stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not really fucking fighting this guy.